Today, my friends, is vlog day 1000. Good morning. It's Friday, and today is my 1000th vlog of the day, which is kind of insane. If you've been watching my vlog for any period of time, you realize that I make a video every day, and I thought that today, well, first of all, I gotta walk down these stairs. Wait, I would share a little bit with you about what I've learned from vlogging for 1000 days, which is kind of a chunk of time. So buckle in and prepare to share the experience. It's also a fantastically beautiful day out here today. Like, there's not a cloud in the sky. It makes it kind of perfect for bobbing around and talking a little bit about what it is I've learned. The main thing is, and I think this is probably pretty obvious, do it because you love it. If you're gonna vlog like me, or if you're just gonna vlog in general, especially if you're gonna do it every day, you wanna make sure you're in it because you want to do it. If you're doing it for some other reason like fame or fortune or anything like that, those things, I don't think those things ever really come. So do it because you love it, which sounds cheesy, but it's really, really true. And it's ultimately the motivator that gets me up and gets me doing this every day. Whenever anybody asks me how I do it or why I do it, there are a number of reasons. It's not just that, but that is definitely the underlying bedrock reason why. I gotta pick this thing back up now. I just thought the Eiffel Tower would be a nice background. I just keep riding this thing. Following closely behind that would be to just keep at it. No matter what happens, no matter how exhausting it gets, no matter how discouraging it gets, which we'll talk about more here in a minute. One of the things that I told myself, one of the things that I would tell anybody that wants to vlog for any period of time, whether it's a month, a year, or indefinitely, would be to just keep at it. It's worth it in the long run. And one of the things that I think is most worth it in the long run is just creating a body of work, not even necessarily because you improve or because life gets more interesting as it goes. You capture really cool moments, but it's also the memories. It's the ability to look back and see what you were doing and where you were and who you were with at any point. And if you don't keep at it, if you don't pursue it, regardless of whatever's going on in life, you lose that. Even in the darker moments, especially in the darker moments, those are possibly even the best to share. And you're not gonna get to share those if you don't keep at it. Which leads really nicely to my next point, which is to do it for yourself. If you're gonna do something like this, if you're gonna be committed to a project like this, you gotta do it because you love it. And you gotta do it for you first, whether that's for the memories or for the experiences. Ideally, for you. Thanks, man. Because if you're anything like me, you might end up, being tempted to do this for other people, to try to please other people, to make content that you think would make others happy. And the reality is that if I'm not doing something that I enjoy, if I'm not having fun, most days at least, because obviously we create art to share it. And that's ultimately one of the goals. I'm spilling coffee on myself. Ooh. But in my opinion, and what I've really, really doubled down on as I've made more and more of these videos, is that I want to make sure that I'm making them for myself first, and that the idea of sharing them comes second. Which kind of brings me to the next thing very naturally, which is that if you're gonna do something like this, you don't wanna do it with the idea or the thought that you're gonna end up going viral at any point. In doing it for yourself, I went into it thinking in terms of, personal goals, wanting to do it for myself, not thinking about popularity, but I would be lying if I said that that wasn't in there somewhere. The idea or the thought that, maybe I'll make a cool video that'll go viral and I'll get super popular really quick and everyone will see it. No, I've never gone viral. The only videos that I have that have done really well slowly, steadily over time. And I'm grateful for that. But it is at the back of your mind sometimes, especially when people talk about virality and subscription growth and the speed of it all. It gets in your head. And so one of the lessons that I've learned, even though going into it I knew this was the case, and I set goals for myself, like being able to talk on camera no matter where I was or when I was, putting the work in, doing things that I actually had control over. Even in the midst of all that, there was still a little part of me that really was hoping that I would go viral at some point, or that I would have some explosive growth. And I've really had to reiterate and relearn that fact that that's not why I'm doing this. And even though that hasn't happened over the course of 1,000 videos, it doesn't have to happen, ever. Even over the course of the next 1,000 videos, I really enjoy what I'm doing, and I'm gonna do it for its own sake, kind of no matter what. And so if you're not gonna go viral, then I guess the goal should be to plan for steady growth over time, right? If you think about it, I didn't even get my first 1,000 subscribers for over a year of vlogging every day. I think I had like 380 videos up or something before I made it to 1,000 subscribers, which is nuts. So rather than planning for short-term gains or quick bursts of energy, it's a marathon. You gotta plan for that, and you gotta think in terms of building for slow, steady, but healthy growth. Working really hard to build a core audience. That was my goal, at least from the beginning. I knew that if I was gonna tell the story of my own life and just do my own thing. It wasn't gonna be necessarily super interesting to a lot of people very quickly. Obviously helped a lot when I finally moved to Paris, got things rolling here. But my goal was to remain as vulnerable as possible and one at a time, slowly but surely build a core audience of people that would be really supportive and really into whatever it is I was doing as I was going, and hope that that would translate into whatever other projects I wanted to do down the line. And if you think about it, when you're not thinking in terms of short-term rapid growth and gains, it was just the strategy that I had chosen was one that was geared towards that slow, steady growth and a core audience rather than, explosive subscriber growth. Which, I would be okay with some explosive subscriber growth, but yeah, you can't bank on that happening at any point. One of the other things that I learned, and this one might sound a little bit cheesy depending on how the delivery goes, is that you want to love yourself and be yourself. Thank you very much. What I mean by that, over 1,000 days of vlogging, I've really learned how to love myself in ways that I didn't fully expect and accept myself in ways that I didn't realize that I needed to. By being open and vulnerable and sharing myself with, the internet, which is kind of scary in and of itself, I've actually learned a lot about self-acceptance, loving myself, and especially because by putting myself out there and being accepted for who I am in the process by a bunch of internet strangers that became internet friends over time, I've learned a lot through taking those risks, just being myself, putting it out there, like what do I like? Where do I want to be in life? Where do I want to go? What are my hopes and dreams for the future? And in doing that, finding a sense of freedom and finding a sense of I really do love and care for myself better because I've been able and willing to take those risks and put myself out there in the first place. So love yourself and be yourself. That's the other thing. You can't keep up the facade for long. If you're not going to be yourself, it's going to stand out very quickly. You can't keep up a lie. You don't want to live a lie to begin with, but if you're going to have some sort of facade up, people, if they like that facade, what that means is that you're selling people on something or someone that isn't you. You don't want to keep that up. Be yourself, find people that will love you for who you are, will accept you for who you are, and that's the audience you want. Those are the people that you want around, and ultimately, that's my goal. With a core audience, the idea of growing slowly and steadily comes the idea of sustainability and wanting to make sure that whatever it is that I'm doing, something that I wish I would have learned earlier on, was not only being sustainable emotionally, energy-wise, but also financially. And one of the things that kind of feels a little bit dirty sometimes to talk about, especially when you're talking about art, but holds very true at the same time, is that if you're not gonna be financially sustainable, it's not gonna be something that you can do for the long haul. And one of the things that I'm not alone in struggling with, but I definitely struggled with for a long time, was valuing my own work. And not in the sense that I'm selling it, obviously my vlog is free, but one of the things that I wish I would have learned earlier was being willing to then open the doors to other people's generosity and finding ways to make some money off of what it is that I'm doing. Going into the second season of my vlog, so at about close to the 400 vlog mark, recognizing that if I don't make an effort to try and grow my Patreon, to try and grow the ways that I'm pulling down a little bit of money with this sooner than later, I'm not gonna end up being able to sustain what I'm doing. And a lot of that hesitancy came just from the fact that I was embarrassed or uncertain, of putting value, especially financially, to my own work. Where other people valued it, I didn't as much. So learning how to value my work, learning to be willing to accept the generosity of others, has in turn enabled me to be more sustainable, because being able to worry less and less over time about the finances and all of that has really helped to enable me to have more energy and a greater sense of endurance as I pursue the things that I want to be doing. One of the other things that you're also going to do is you're going to run out of reserve energy pretty quick. Much like my wheel has been fighting me a little bit because it's running out of energy. If you're going to do this every day, it's definitely a marathon. I knew it was going to be tough. I knew it was going to take a lot of work. I knew that I was going to be tired, but I didn't realize just how tired. I didn't realize just how, I think my wheel is about to die. Like I said, I didn't realize that just how tired I was going to get and how much work this was going to take. And just the mental fortitude of continuing on, right? Making a video every day. It's not even about coming up with an idea so much as just showing up and being able to present your day, present your life, and capture it in video. It's a challenging thing to do. And so one of the things that I didn't realize, and that, oh, there it goes. Oh. My wheel's battery just ran out. We're gonna have to go on foot, and hopefully I'm gonna have to carry this thing now. Ugh. And just like this thing ran out of energy on me. One of the things that I wish I would have known going into this is how little time and energy I would have left for planning. I had an editorial calendar early on, and one of the best things that I did was taking time before starting, and when I did take a quick break after my first season, to make time and space to plan. Put it on a calendar, actually like figure things out in advance, whether that was information or what I would be filming or where I would be going, any of that stuff. And now I'm trying to reintegrate that into my regular life, but it's so hard to change those gears and to get back into a planning mode when every day is a production day. Like there is no stopping. There's no stopping the production train, and production and planning are two very different parts of the brain that, for me at least, take a jump. So one of the things that I've learned is that I need to make space to plan, and I need to take that seriously, because when I do plan, when I have a plan, it makes my life so much easier. Like today I could have planned to bring my charger for my wheel because I knew I was going to be riding my wheel a lot. Didn't do it. See, plans, they help. Of course, that leads straight into the issue of self-care. And one of the things that I've really struggled with, and I still struggle with, but learning definitely, is to stop and enjoy a little bit of the scenery, take care of myself, because self-care is like the only way I'm gonna actually survive for any given period of time. Because at the end of the day, if I don't take care of myself, nobody else is gonna take care of myself. And so finding some balance, getting some rest, sleeping, it's a marathon, like I said. And if I'm gonna keep doing this, and if anybody out there wants to vlog for any period of time, like 1,000 days, you know, make sure that you take time for yourself and that you appreciate the fact that you're a human being and that you could very well fall apart if you don't take good care of yourself. But of course, in taking care of yourself, which I try to do, I've also really realized one of the reasons I like vlogging a lot is because I can do so many things on my own. I can actually just get stuff done. I can show up, I can do the work, and if I do it on my own, then I'm able to make sure that I can control the quality and everything. But one of the things that I've definitely learned through all of this, and I've come to appreciate, is all the people that I've met along the way, and realize that one of the best parts about all of this is the friends that I've got to make along the way. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you watch any of my vlogs, whether it's 1, 2, or all 1,000, I really appreciate it. And I hope that you'll stick around for 1,000 more. I hope I survive for 1,000 more. I'll see you tomorrow.